Behind every great fighter is a coach who sharpens their edge. And at Caldwell Fight Night 3, one of those coaches is Louie Neagle. Louie, thanks for joining me here today. Appreciate you.
You bet. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, I've been able to watch you guys here training today, and it's just been a privilege watching you work with the kids. I see you doing it with joy. Seems like you have a lot of fun being in here.
Yep.
How long have you been in here?
I've known Medina since, man, I've known that guy 30 years, 25 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I've known him that long. But I've boxed with him for a while, but then I went out on my own, started my own gyms. And I've had gyms in Nampa, I've had gyms in Caldwell, and I went to Boise, and then I came back over here, and the PAL sponsored me on a gym, and I think I was there for like 10 years.
Okay.
And then I kind of removed myself for a while. Then when I decided to come back, I came back with Medina.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, talk to me about who Medina is. We got some stuff on the backdrop over here. People might not be able to see.
Like I tell everybody, if anybody who knows boxing, anybody who's been in boxing, if you're a coach or you haven't been trained by Medina, then you don't know nothing about boxing, dude. That man's been around so long. Like they say, he's the godfather of boxing around here.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So he's left a legendary status of who he is back here.
He is. He is.
That's awesome. You know, you got several fighters on this upcoming card. One's making their pro debut, at least one, right? Talk to me about the preparation. You know, preparing them both at once or multiple people at once, because it's hard to do that, right? When you only got so much manpower.
Yes. Actually, Stevan, I trained him as an amateur. He started like when he was like 8. For this fight, he's been training for almost 2 years to get him ready for it. His cousin Robert that was fighting, we knew as soon as he stepped out, he was going to be the next one up. And Ruben and his brother Angel, I knew them when they were fighting in Ontario, and I knew his dad and the gentleman that used to train him, Martin. And I seen him over at the PAL one day, and at the new PAL, and I was there for about 2 weeks, and I told them, you know what, I'm going to start training pros, and they jumped on the wagon real quick. But you know what, we went to about 8 months of training before we even let it go.
Wow.
So yeah, and me and Tony and Robert, his brother, already had things rolling.
Okay.
And we were just waiting to get some people going.
Yeah, so there's a strategy behind it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. You know, it's not an easy thing to do, right?
No.
It's not an easy thing at all to put something like this together, and for what you're doing to prep somebody mentally, not just physically. What are some of the biggest challenges you see with trying to prep somebody, not just in the physical sense, but mentally?
I think for me the biggest problem, mentally, you have some guys that are really good about their eating habits, their training habits, and their weight. But then you have other guys that they like to struggle, and I tell them the only reason you struggle is because you make it struggle on your own, because you don't want to run, you don't want to stay on a diet, you want to be out there with your friends. I said, and then it's going to pay the day you get in the ring.
Yeah.
And like I tell them, if you're going to play that game, I'm not going to train you. Find somebody else, because I don't want nobody to get hurt on my dime, because I don't know, I would be devastated if somebody was to get hurt. You know, I mean, I've had a few guys, you know, they get stopped, but you know what, we're ready to throw in the towel. You know, I've had fighters that get mad because, hey, you know what, no, you didn't. No, you didn't, buddy.
Yeah, but your job is to look out for them.
You know, you got another day to fight, so.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's what a good coach would do.
Yeah.
You know, every fighter does have a different style, obviously. Talk to me about the styles of your fighters that are going to be stepping in the ring and how you're prepping them.
Stevan is, I consider him an inside fighter. And so we got to make him quick, and we got to be able to have him step outside real quick and just keep going. And having him move side to side and just keep working it, He's going to have to, that's why I'm making him run hard, I'm making him train hard, and making that body hard, because if you're going to stay inside, not only are you going to throw a lot of punches, you're going to get hit a lot. Now, Ruben, which he's a heavyweight, heavyweights are one-steppers, and they just throw heavy punches, you know, and that's how I'm training him. I've seen this guy fight that he's going to fight, and so it's going to be a war because they're both the same height, but that guy's just massive, you know, but I told Ruben, you can beat him. I said, massive guys get tired real quick because they got so much weight on their upper body that, you know, but if you stand up and fight him, you know, don't try to get in there and try to muscle with this guy because you're going to lose, you know, so I think we got a pretty good game plan for both of these guys. Yeah.
So, as a whole, you know, I've been tapping into a little bit about your observations as a coach with these fighters and kind of your role in there, but I want to know about your philosophy as a coach. Like, talk to me about, you know, do you lean more on fundamentals, or is it discipline, or letting fighters express themselves? I mean, you seem to be pretty on top of things from what I've been able to see.
Well, these guys know me already. Like I tell them, you know what, if you can do it, go ahead and do it. But if you're going to listen to me, we're going to do it right. My fundamentals are: you come in here, you sleep well, you eat well, and you train well. You come in here, you do your bag work, you do your calisthenics, your mitt works, and I'm a believer in mitt works. I love to work with the mitts, and I think that sharpens not only their mind, but exactly where that punch is going all the time. You know, because you can sit there and hit the bag all day long and you're not going to be able to move. You're not going to work on your footwork, you know, because footwork is very important. A lot of people just like to stand there and bang it out. No, if you move, you're going to get the guy tired. You go in there, you hit him, you move a little bit, come out, move your head. You know, it's a good game plan, and I think, and it's always worked for me. I have 3 national champions, and the youngest one was 8 years old.
Really?
Yeah, and I think I did pretty good with them. So, and there's one of them that's fought for me as a heavyweight, and that kid, I wish he wouldn't have quit because he was a good fighter. He's always that kid is, when he's trained, he fights. And he's been like that since he was a little kid. He knew how to fight. Everybody would look at him, you know, because he looked kind of chubby, you know, manteca on him and everything. But man, when he got down, that guy threw down. You know, and take him back all the way to New York, and this guy wins a national championship.
Wow, yeah.
You know, that tells you a lot about that kid.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The boxing scene in the Treasure Valley is definitely growing. It's getting a lot of attention. And what would you say is kind of the importance of needing to help build the fight scene here in the Treasure Valley area? Like, how important is that to the community, to the fighters, to, you know, the economy, the whole 9 yards?
Well, you know, I think a lot of it is, like, I got a little nephew that I bring with me all the time. And the reason that I bring him, even though, you know, he doesn't work out the way he should, I just let him come in here and just, as long as he's doing something, because I'm trying to pull him away from this generation of kids that are on this
screen all day
long. You know, like I tell him, go outside, man, go do something outside.
Right.
Go, you know, go do something. If you're gonna go run, I don't care. But do something. Don't just sit there and, you know, and look at that screen all the time. And my daughters, I tell them, as soon as my grandkids get old enough, they're right here, because I don't want to see them doing that either. You know, and my youngest daughter said, no, Dad, no. I said, baloney, he's gonna be in here. You know, not only that, but to learn to defend himself.
Yeah.
You know, because he's a little guy, you know, and I can tell he's going to be kind of short. So, yeah, I just don't want nobody picking on him.
Yeah. So instead of exercising their thumbs, they can exercise their minds and their
mind, body, and, you know, and then you exercise your body, your mind's going to be strong. Yeah.
Absolutely. Fans typically get to see fight night, but not the grind that goes into it, right? What's something about your fighters' preparation that people might not realize because they're not seeing all the work that really you're talking months, if not years, go into something like this?
I think the biggest gripe with my guys is I have to put a limit on their partying, because these guys, they're young guys, you know, and they like to party. You know, and right now, you know, they're like, man, you know, I could have been over here. I said, yeah, but, you know, you're looking at something that's going to help you down the future, and and it's keeping you in good shape, and it's keeping you out of trouble.
Yeah.
I said, that's how you got to look at it. I said, not only that, I said, kids look at you, hey, you know what? Look at your nephew that comes in here. Look at your little cousin that comes in here.
Yeah.
They come in here because you're coming in here, and they're seeing you make progress. So they're going to start doing it. And I said, in the long run, I said, you watch, you're gonna be one of their favorite uncles. Hey, you know what? Uncle used to fight, and I used to be in the gym with them, and this and that. And I said, and that's what works, dude, because you're pulling a kid off the street.
Right.
And if we can pull as many kids off the street, man, some of this bullshit that's going on out there will die down.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree with you on that, 100%. You've obviously been in here for a minute in the game itself, and you wouldn't be doing it so long if you weren't seeing some of those results. Right. So what's been one of the biggest rewards as a coach that you've been able to witness, aside from the accolades of a national championship?
To me, it's always been seeing, like, a lot of the kids that I trained. I adopted a kid here out of Nampa when his father passed away, and I adopted him, but he was training for me at the time. And he loved boxing so much. Him and his dad loved it so much that they would come over to my house and watch. We used to watch all the pay previews and everything. And his father passed away. His dad talked to me one time, and he told me, if anything ever happens to me, he goes, would you take my kid? And I talked to my wife then, and she said, yeah, we wouldn't have any problems. And I took him in, and he was like 10 years old. Well, this kid went on to win a national championship in Boston, Massachusetts at 125. Wow. He represented the United States at 125 against Russia, Canada, Mexico. This kid was doing really good. And now, he's still, to this day, he still runs. He's in really good shape. He works out every day. Because like he says, it was embedded into him.
Yeah.
Because I used to get him up every morning, rain, shine, whatever it was, snowing, we're running because you're at the national level. They'd call me, hey, you know what, he's got a fight over here, your tickets will be, and these are your ticket numbers. You get on the plane on this day, meet us over here at the USA Boxing Center, and then they took him from there.
Wow.
And he did really well. And my nephew's seen that, all my nephews seen that. They used to look up to him. And a lot of them just started, all of them, I think I had like 12 nephews that were all fighting. Yeah, and a lot of them still are. Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's all family. We were all family. They were just fighting.
Yeah, it's building a legacy.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What could people that maybe have never experienced a fight night like this before, and now they're catching wind that there's something going down in the Treasure Valley, what can people expect from your gym and your coaching and your fighters come fight night?
One of the things at our last fight, I think we just had a little bit of a commotion, and like I was telling my fighters, you guys step back. This is not what pro fighting is about. You guys are gentlemen in the sport. I go, you're gentlemen when you're in the ring, and you're a gentleman outside of the ring. Right. I said, so stop. Let this, if they want to do that, they can go ahead and do it. What the public doesn't see is that a lot of people think, well, how long you guys been training, a week or two? And I was going, buddy, we've been going at it for like 8 months, 6 months. A good training camp starts at 6 months, 4 months. And then it gets harder and harder as we go, because it turns into every day when you're a month and a half out, because you want them ready, and then you stop like 4 days out to let the body rest. As long as they made their weight, stop, let them rest, and they just go in and weigh in, and we go and fight. So a lot of people think, hey, you know what, this is something that they do, on the, on a whim, 2 or 3 weeks. No, I get up in the morning at 4 in the morning. I go to work, I drive into Boise, I come back, fly to the house real quick, get my equipment, and come over here. I'm here until, 8:30, 8 o'clock. And that's Monday through Friday, sometimes even Saturdays.
Wow.
Yeah, just to get these guys ready, because I don't want nobody hurt.
Yeah.
And anybody who asks me for work, I don't care if it's mitts, I don't care if it's just to come in and open the gym and help them out, I'll be here for them.
Wow.
Anybody that wants to fight, that's gonna fight, that still wants to get ready because like I tell them, you have to be comfortable in your mind with your body to get in that ring. And if you have a doubt, don't do it. Yeah, because that's how people get hurt.
Yeah. Wow. That's inspiring, Louie.
Yeah.
So, big shout out to you, and thank you for all the work that you're putting
You
in
bet.
into people, to the community, and to tomorrow's champions. Looking
Yeah.
forward to seeing your fighters.
You bet. Hey, and I put out a shout out to all the coaches here. We don't get paid. We don't get paid. We just sit around and everybody thinks we just sit around and do nothing. No, we're out here helping these guys get ready for a fight.
Yeah.
You know, and it pays off. To us, it pays off when they go in the ring.
Right.
Win or lose, if they get in the ring and they perform, that's all we look for.
Yeah. You're
Yeah.
making a difference, man.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to.
That's right. Thank you, Louie.
You bet.